y'all. My name is Jasmine Jones, and I am a licensed clinical social worker. And you are now watching Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild. And this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. And today we are reviewing The People Under the Stairs, and we are sipping on peach snapple and absinthe. Yes. How y'all doing? So I finally got around to rewatching The People Under the Stairs. I love this movie. It's magical. And so, this is like a childhood classic. This is Therapist Sips and Reviews, 90s Rewind. I keep forgetting to say that when I do the old movies and stuff, but this is 90s Rewind, y'all. People Under the Stairs. This movie was released in 1991, and Wes Craven directed this. And Wes Craven directed Vampire in Brooklyn. Like, he was in his little black bag and shit. Like, I'm not gonna invite him to the cookout. I don't invite white people to cookouts. I don't care how much of an ally you are, but I'm loving it. Like, he's showing gentrification, classism, the evilness of whititude. It was magical. And then what's that nigga that made Us? What's his name? The nigga that made Us is gonna remake this movie, so I'm glad that I am reviewing it before the remake happens, because it's nice to compare and contrast and shit. And I never got around to doing the remake of Candyman and shit. I only did the first original movie of Candyman. I'll probably get around to it eventually. There's a lot of movies in the world, a lot of therapeutic things to say about them. So, this could go on forever. See, that's how you run a business. You have to figure out a product that can last for a long ass time, that people will want for a long ass time. And then you just put it out there. And therapy and cinema will last forever. I'm gonna get into the review eventually. I ramble. I be watching them, like, them reels and TikToks with people. They be having cat channels and family channels. Like, animals die eventually. So I hope that you budget and save your money appropriately, and then build off of that empire. And then them family channels, like, you shouldn't be filming your kids like that. It's weird. And most of them people out there is abusing their kids. A lot of them are. And you shouldn't be filming your kids like that. Like, if I had a kid and they just happen to walk onto the camera, I'd be like, okay, well, they walked in. I'm not going to, it's like my cat walk in sometimes. But the video ain't about them. The video's not about my cat. Like, the video's about me. Maybe that's, like, I always say it, but maybe it's like the Aries in me. Like, what's mine is mine. And if you get enjoyment out of it, that's wonderful. But it's still basically all for me. And so, you got to find something that'll last. And I feel like this will last a long ass time. People learn from this type of shit. So anyways, this movie is about this little boy. His name is Fool. His nickname is Fool. I forgot what his, Christian name is. His given name, whatever the fuck. His name is Fool. And him and his family live in this, I don't think it's the projects. I think it's just these apartment complexes, but it's like a trap house. I'm just like, because the trap house is a trap apartment. Like, they the last tenants in that apartment building, according to the white folks, the evil, monstrous white folks. But, like, when Fool goes to pick up something for his sister, because she needed to cook or whatever, like, he's walking to the trap house, and I'm like, all these, drug addicts and ne'er-do-wells are in here. Like, I'm sure they don't pay rent. So, like, can he really come? He ain't kicked them out. So, like, can he really come in and kick y'all out? I don't know. It's a movie. So I'm just like, they're still in there, but I be logicalizing shit too much. So, it's a movie. And so, like, they live in this trap apartment building with, all the horrors down below. And when he was walking up the stairs to give his sister the stuff that he got from the store, I'm just like, that scene in one of them days when she was walking, like, it could have came from this. But it just felt like it came from the labyrinth too. Maybe it all came from the labyrinth. Let me shut up. But anyway, so he lives in an apartment with his sister. his mom, who is bedridden because she has cancer that they will not operate on because she can't afford for them to operate. They just be letting people die here in America, y'all. If you watching this and you ain't in America, the United States of America, then you are just the luckiest lucker of all Luckington. Because no, I be wondering, like, why are we leaving an island like when I see people especially immigrating here from like island countries like Jamaica and the Bahamas and all of them places, I just be like, you know what I would give just to live in a shanty shack on the beach in the Bahamas somewhere and be unbothered, eating, fishing and eating coconuts and, like how bad is it in those places that you have to come here, because this is hell. We getting degrees in them countries and they be like doctors and lawyers and shit, and they come here and their degrees don't count. But you come from England, oh, you're still a doctor, you're still a neurosurgeon and shit. You got niggas coming from Jamaica be a doctor. Oh no, you that doesn't count here, you're not a doctor. Like, what? Why? They get the same education over there. They gotta go to school and learn for however many years and shit over there. Girl, what is it over here? Because I don't see the draw. If I'm living in an island country, I'm staying in that motherfucker. I don't need to work. I don't need fancy things if I'm living on an island in a little hut. I just need running water. That's it. Running fucking water. Because I'm not cleaning out a shit bucket. I'm not. I'm just a tad too bougie for that. But anyway, so he lives in this apartment and then his sister has like 3 or 4 babies. So it's all of the ghetto stereotypes and shit. White man directed this. So, I'm not surprised. But also the ghetto stereotypes give it the depth that it needs to illustrate why white people are sucking the hood dry like a vampire would. And taken from the poor and the people of color and the black folks. So it needed to be seen. But it was just like, you laying it on thick, my nigga. Like, this is thick. And then they're the only apartment with a wholesome, happy family in it. The sister is a prostitute, apparently, like, because when Ving Rhames was talking about it in the kitchen, because he was trying to get Fool to join him to rob the landlord that owns the building, right? That's the crazy white people, right? And he talking about, well, and your sister, she's a prostitute, and she got all these babies, and if you don't help me rob these motherfuckers, like, it was some stupid shit. It was and like so they're trying to figure out, because they're about to get evicted. The landlord raised the rent like 3 times the rent that it is now. They can't afford it. Mom's bedridden with cancer, can't get surgery to get it out or anything like that. And so then Ving Rhames is, I guess he's the girl's boyfriend or pimp. I don't fucking know. But you sitting over there trying to get her brother to work for you to help pay the rent when you up in there. Why don't you help pay the rent, girl? Niggas, that's why. That's all I could come up with. Because you talking about if he works for me, then he can save money to pay the rent. And I'm like, he's a child. Like, he's just turned 13. Like, y'all don't remember being 13? Like, y'all don't remember the mindset you had as a 13-year-old? 13-year-olds have the internet and social media to mimic adulthood because, they have that. 13-year-olds in the 90s, I was playing with Barbie dolls and shit still. I was still a tomboy. I wasn't thinking about drugs and thievery things and stuff. And then it's so funny because, okay, so they found out the landlord is this old family that's been in the neighborhood for generations and they're crazy and all this other stuff, and they own most of the building in the neighborhood. But like, he found out the landlord had a treasure, like gold coins and shit, in his house, and he wants to steal from his house. He found this out when they robbed the liquor store, found it in the back, this treasure, he called it a treasure map. Still white folks directed this because, like, when they go up to the house to rob them, like, black people would have left as soon as they couldn't open the door and they couldn't get through the window. They're not gonna keep trying to get into this motherfucker like that. No, they're not, or at the very least they would have left when that dog came out, because niggas give up after a while. We're not gonna keep trying to do something that will get us killed in this creepy ass house in this weird ass place, or at least the first creepy thing they saw in there, they would have ran the fuck out. We're not hearing sounds in the house and being like, what's that? What is that? I don't know. Let's just keep stealing. Like, girl, okay, whatever. We don't do that. Like when they got into the house and like whatchamacallit, fool heard something in the basement, and then he went down to the basement to see what it was, because the white dude had went into the house first, because apparently, like, I'm getting ahead of myself. So they decide to take Fool to this house, right? And Fool pretends to be like a Boy Scout or whatever the fuck, right? See if he get in the house. The wife is there. She's like, no, you can't come in the house. Bye. And so Fool's like telling them like, no, she wouldn't let me in the house. She wouldn't even let me in the house to use the bathroom. I'm like, no. And so they send the white dude because, you know, he's white. And these people are like racist, and these are the type of white folks that I've been imagining in my head every time I interact with white people for the first time. I see you as this. For every interaction I have with a white person in the beginning, I see you as this until you show me that you're not. And even when you show me that you're not, I'm still going to hold a grain of salt, because this type of behavior is ingrained in your culture. And you're at least going to give me a microaggression every once in a while. Maybe every once a year, once every 2 years, but it's going to come up. So I have to like curtail my anger to explain to you why your behavior is not okay. But this is the type of white people that I envision. And that's why they scare the shit out of me. And so when I see motherfuckers caping for white folks and then downfalling for white folks like Shannon Sharp, I just be like, you don't notice? You don't feel the aura of evil that can come off of some of these white folks? You don't notice any of that? Girl, you just walking around the world blind and vulnerable, open to whatever these motherfuckers want to do to you. And I will not be blind. I will not be vulnerable. You're not about to catch me off guard and I think you're a friend and you actually about to throw me under the bus or steal from me or blame me for some shit, and I'm arrested and you sitting there perfectly fine, or end up like that woman that's always bring that up. No, because her case deserves to be investigated, and them motherfucking white devils deserve to be arrested. That woman at that sleepover didn't just die on accident. Or whatever them white people told the police. I'm tired. See, you get comfortable and you get comfortable and you get comfortable, and then you end up like that woman at that sleepover at the bottom of a balcony. Thought these were your friends. They were not. Their cultural narcissistic sociopathy came up out of them for whatever reason. They were triggered, and you know, niggas ended up dead. And that's not gonna happen to me. Like, I've seen a pattern in these folks' culture that says that they could snap at any motherfucking second if you slightly trigger them. They could feel that you're prettier than them. Your black skin is glowing. You're 45. You look like you're 23. And they're 45 and they look like they're 80. And you could have no idea why they're being a fucking bitch to you or why they're treating you that way. But, you know, because you can't fathom what you could have done to cause this person to treat you that way. That means that they're jealous. I had to learn that. I had to get rid of that, oh, you're conceited for thinking that people are jealous of you thing. No, you're only conceited when you wish for other people's downfall, and you can only be the only one that's beautiful. I don't wish for other people's downfall. I wish everybody could love themselves that much and see the beauty and the light in themselves, so they can leave me the fuck alone for seeing the light in mine. Because if you saw the light in yourself, then you wouldn't keep fucking around and bothering me and doing little passive aggressive things to make me feel weird when I'm just out in the world living life. Like, if everybody just loved themselves, you know, then we wouldn't be like hurting each other and treating each other like shit. Like, no, like, I know that I see the light inside of me and I'm beautiful and shining and bright. And I wish that for you too. With God. So no, I'm not conceited. I just know facts, and sometimes facts can be very positive. And so it could be one of them situations, and they see your light and they hate your light because they hate themselves, and your light reminds them of their self-hatred, and now they being a bitch to you all day. That's why I just keep one eye open on them white folks. I do, because they could end up just like these people on here. And I'm not about to end up dead or in somebody's basement for 20 years. Like, girl, that is my biggest fear, being in somebody's basement city that they built for me. Like, I have shit that I want to do with my life. I have stuff where I want to do. You're not going to objectify me into some object that belongs to you, and the shit that I want to do with my life no longer matters. Only what you want to do with me matters. And so, like, no, like, no. So I think I got that, a part of that, from this movie. Like, it scared me as a kid. Like, them kids underneath in the basement and shit, and these white people just chasing this little black boy around the house. I was just like, oh no, they be doing this. This is real. They be doing this in real life. They be hoarding bodies and taking organs. Girl, there is truth to some stereotypes. So, just be careful when you interact with these white folks. But no, so like they decide to go to the house. They send him there first. The white woman's like, no, 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 no. And then they send the white dude, but the white dude's taking too long. And Ving Rhames thinks that, like, oh, I don't like this Ving Rhames. This Ving Rhames, and I mean, he was mean and aggressive and things. I know it's toxic, but this was a young Ving Rhames, or Ving, whatever. And then the Ving Rhames from Baby Boy. Yep. Those were the two times that I found that man to be attractive. When he lifted that woman up off that floor and was bouncing her around like that, I was like, niggas can do that? Like, if they're big enough? Like, I'm a smooth 200 pounds and shit. Nigga, like 5'9". Like, you just gotta be strong enough? Like, tall enough? Like, wait a minute, that movie showed me some shit that I never even fathomed in my young mind that could happen, because I was tall as a young person too, and I was just like, wow, he just picked her up and is bouncing her around like a big old kid on his dick. That was magic. And then he was like a little aggressive in this one. I was like, look at him, being aggressive and young looking and strong. I just had to come to terms that, I need a little dash of toxica. I need a little dash of toxic. Not too much, not to where it's traumatizing, but enough to where like in the bedroom, and when we walking down the street and you walk on the outside of me to make sure, and you beat a nigga's ass if he touched me, and not like beat him bloody like you got some shit going on, but like, push him to the ground. Like, move out the way. Don't touch her. Like, yes, protect her. Wow. And so that's what that reminds me of, when he was just aggressive, and it was so aggressive. And I'm not going to fix that part of me, because sometimes you're just a splash. You need a spectrum. It's a spectrum and balance and shit. And that nigga was strong. That's a strong man, just a strong, I like a little, at least be my height. And then somewhere between an athletic and a dad bod, like, got the big arms, but got a little belly so you can lay on it and shit. Like, like somewhere between the muscular and the dad bod, but not like the super big, like bodybuilder, like veiny. That shit isn't attractive. That's for niggas. Niggas like to see other niggas big veiny muscles. Like, most women don't like that. It's hard and uncomfortable and shit. Like, you big and veiny and like, ew. No, athletic and dad bod. Not too skinny. I don't like that. I can feel your bones in me. It's gross. When I sit on your lap, I can feel your fucking thigh bones and shit. It's weird. I'm not talking about this. I don't fucking know. So anyways, Ving Rhames in the car, right? And he's like, no, this white dude trying to take all the gold and shit. And I thought it was funny that he found out about the gold when he robbed the liquor store, and he found a treasure map. This is not some nigga shit. This is not some shit that black people are going to... We found a treasure map, like fucking Indiana Jones. I found a treasure map. Like, girl, you didn't find... Oh God, why are you calling it a treasure map? There was moments where it threw you out, because this is not some shit niggas would do. Like, that child would not have went back down them stairs. Them niggas would not have stayed in that house that long. They would have seen the dog and left. Like, I mean, we got some sociopathic niggas that probably would have bought a gun and shot the dog and then ran through the house and ransacked and killed and murdered people. Like, okay, we got some of them out there. That wasn't these niggas. They were just regular niggas that were poor and looking for some money to help themselves. Poverty crimes. And so, yeah, that's not something we would do. But anyway, so him and Fool go in the house, right? That's when the dog try to attack him, bite his arm, and then they get the dog trapped in like the little patio area and stuff like that. And then they get into the house and they're looking for the white dude. So they split up. Another thing that we're not going to do. We're not splitting up. We're not splitting up. And so Fool goes down into the basement because he's hearing noises. And then he's like, oh no, I heard a noise that was really scary. And then he ran back upstairs and he was like, no, I'm not going to do this. But then he remembered that earlier this nigga called him a bitch and stuff. And he was just like, oh, I don't want to be a bitch. And I'm just like, that is not. No, not when we're scared. Not when we're scared of something getting us. No, that's not how black people act. Oh, I just kept marking the things off of how do black people not act. That is not, no. So then he goes back downstairs and sees the dead, whatchamacallit. His hair was all white. The white dude that they sent in, his hair was all white. I guess she scared him and his hair turned white. I don't know. I don't fucking know. It was weird. And so he sees them and then he hears all these noises around the cellar, the basement, and starts looking through these cracks and something where all of this is, we're not going to do this. Black people are not going to look through the cellars and the crack. And then he starts seeing the people and he sees somebody pulling at the arm of the dead white dude, right? And so he pulls him back and realizes the white dude is dead and the thing that was pulling at his arm was eating his hand. So, right. Or the dog bit his hand, or the people, because they were feeding the people under the stairs people. They were cannibalizing them children. And so like he tries to run back upstairs, and then the I guess he triggered a trap, and the stairs turned into a slide, and he slid back down. And he ran up the side of the stairs and got up out of there. The girl that lives in the house that gets to live upstairs, the house negress, white girl. Because the mom is just so into having this perfect son and perfect daughter. And so basically what was happening was that they found a perfect daughter, because they was kidnapping children until they found the perfect son and perfect daughter. They just couldn't find the perfect son. Every boy they got would always rebel against being kidnapped and tortured by these weirdos. And so they would lock the boys downstairs. And that's who the people under the stairs were. And so she wanted to paint this perfect picture. She's objectified these children because she's a sociopath, and she wants to paint this perfect picture of this perfect family. Come to find out, that's her brother. There was no sexual overtures or anything like that, or them touching each other or anything like that. But I truly believe in my spirit that they were fucking. They slept in the same bedroom. He wore a gimp outfit when he was running around the house trying to kill people. They were calling each other mama and daddy and shit. They were having the incest. Just a lot of things going on in this, family here, but it's common in white culture. Like, look at the royal family. A lot of that was incest. That's why they had that hemoglobin blood disease, because there was so much incest in their family that now they got like this hemoglobin blood disease that is passed around their family because of a mutation from incest. So that's a part of their culture. It is what it is. Cannibalism, that's part of their culture as well. Look up the history of white people eating people. They eat people. They do. They ate slaves. They ate Egyptian mummies. They eat people. These are things that we're not clocking within our own culture as a problem. So we're just letting the epigenetic trauma keep passing down and create people like Jeffrey Dahmer and shit like that. And we're not seeing it as a whole cultural issue in our culture. And that's why I just keep a good eye on white folks, because the things that you're not paying attention to are the things that are going to get me killed if I'm around you for too long. Yes, it is. Yes, God. And then if you call it out, they'll just be like, those associated, subconscious racists, where they don't think that they're racist on the surface, but they do racist things subconsciously or whatever. They'll just, I'm not racist. Oh my gosh, yes you are, Caroline. You are racist. You are, love. So anyways, he runs back up the stairs. The girl lets him out, and then she disappears. And he goes, finds Bing Rain. Ving Rhames like, where's the white dude? He got his head stuck in a damn hole in a vent. It's something else black people are not going to do. We're not going to stick our heads in small holes. Like, we're not going to go cave diving into the crack of the earth like that one white man that ended up doing that and died. Like, we're not gonna do these things. Like, I was like, he thought he was dead. I was just like, why is this nigga got his head in the hole? Like, we're not gonna do shit like this. It wasn't realistic to the culture of my people. We're not this curious. Like, we're not. Oh, what is this sound? What is this noise? What is this noise and coming out of this small vent hole? Let me put my head in this small vent hole. We're not going to do that. We're not doing that. Like I said, we would not have even made it through the rest of the house. We would have just left the house to its own devices after either not being able to get in or seeing that big ass dog trying to bite you, like, or at the very least hearing the sounds of the things in the wall. Like, that would have been third strike. It would have been out. It's time to go. So I don't know what's going on. Yes, we get desperate for money and shit like that, but we're more likely to kill somebody than we are to go into some spiritually hunted place because we're very superstitious people. White folks think they rule the world, so they think they rule over even the spiritual parts of the world, and so they don't get they don't get scared like that. They just, they think they can control everything. They can control animals. They can control the spirits. They can, until they learn. That's why they be running towards things in these scary movies. Like, what is that sound? I, as a white woman, will be able to go off into this dark forest area to investigate this sound, and nothing bad will happen to me. And I just, I enjoy the confidence of it. I just don't want to only have confidence, because when you only have confidence, the cautiousness doesn't kick in, and then you end up going into a situation like these white people in these other scary movies when you end up dead. So you need to have a nice balance of confidence and fear, because the fear is going to help guide you out of a situation that your confidence is telling you, I can overcome this, when in reality, no, you can't. No, you can't control this situation. That is Michael Myers, honey. You're not going to get out of this if you go towards Michael Myers, honey. So you need to back the fuck away from this situation, because that's Michael Myers. They can't even kill this nigga. Like, at some point he became immortal. I don't think they fully explain how he became, just like Jason. They haven't fully explained how Jason's become immortal. They haven't fully explained how Michael Myers has become immortal. But, like, at some point they're immortal. You're not immortal. So why do you think an non-immortal being could kill this immortal being? Like, this nigga had his whole head chopped off in one of the movies. I think it was H2O. Jamie Lee Curtis cut this nigga's head off. And he came back in another movie. I know it's just, it's fake. They want to continue the franchise. But, still, there could be niggas out there like that with the magical powers that are out here sociopathically killing motherfuckers and shit. You don't know. You don't fucking know. So you need a nice balance of fear and confidence. You don't need either one to lead you. You need them to walk side by side with you, and you're the leader, and you lead yourself, and they just give you, they're the advisors. Your emotions are your advisors. They advise you on if you should go this way or go that way. And then you think about it and you be like, you know what? Fear, that's making sense. I'm not immortal. That nigga's immortal. I'm not gonna beat this nigga. I'm not gonna kill Michael Myers. I'm not. So you know what? I think that I'm gonna leave before they even know I was even here, and go home and never contemplate this, whatever the fuck I was trying to do, ever again, in the name of Jesus. Praise God. And then sometimes you let your confidence lead and you tell your fear to shut the fuck up. Like, I can speak in front of these people. It's scary. Somebody may chuckle at me, but you know what? If I don't look them directly in the eyes, I'll be fine. Shut the fuck up, fear. You're not helping. You're turning into anxiety, and you're making up shit that doesn't even apply, that hasn't even happened. You're making up shit that hasn't even happened. But anyway, so he gets upstairs. He finds Ving Rhames with his head in a hole, and then this nigga pops up, and then before he comes upstairs, he sees that the parents are back. The siblings are back. The siblings are back. And so he's telling me, like, the siblings are back. They got the dog. Da, 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 da. And so the siblings realize that, there's niggas in the house. They had barricaded the door with this broom, so they're trying to break down the door. And so Ving Rhames and Fool try to hide in the house somewhere, right? And so Ving Rhames hides in this little closet in the hallway, and then he pushes this little kid out and was like, "No, I don't want you in here with me." I'm like, "What's wrong? Are you a child?" But it's okay. You ended up dying anyway. So you know what? The final boy here was Fool. So he pushes Fool out, right? And then like Fool finds a little corner of the hallway to hide in, and then here come one of the siblings, the dad, Papa, whatever his name is, upstairs with his rifle about to shoot a nigga. And so he flips a switch because the whole house is full of like these security things, doors, whatever. Flips the switch and then, shoots the fuck out of Ving Rhames because Ving Rhames runs out the door because he hears the dog barking or some shit, and then shoots the fucking shit out of him. Fool sees this whole thing, so of course more trauma added to the other traumas he's experienced living in a trap house in the middle of the hood with his mom dying from cancer. I hope he goes to therapy one day in that dimension that he lives in as a real person. Care what you're talking about. And so Fool like he hides and he goes back to the banister because they drag him Ving Rhames down the stairs, his body down the stairs, right? And so Fool goes to the banister and sees them, and then at some point the police come because they see the Ving Rhames van outside, and they clock the license plate as the license plate from the robbery of the liquor store the night before. And so they tell the police, they go outside, they tell the police that, oh no, we it's not here, and da 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 da, and there's nobody in the house, we thought this was a worker's van. They make up some shit, right? And so they're looking through the van, and then they see Fool's uniform, his Boy Scout uniform. And like the sister is just like, oh, there's another one in the house, because she remembers him coming there earlier, right? And so the brother goes back in the house. I'm not calling him Mama and Papa. That's nasty. Okay, so the brother goes back in the house and starts looking for Fool, right? So Fool's running around the house trying to hide. And while he was in the basement, one of the people under the stairs, folks, that lives in the wall, his name is Roach. I guess the brother named him Roach because he lives in the wall. That's not his real name, of course. Jumped on him. But he thought he was being attacked, so he ran off. And so like Fool is trying to hide from the brother coming around the house. He got this gimp outfit on. He got the gun out. He's trying to shoot him and shit. So the little girl, he gets into a room with the little girl because he hides in a little closet. And then the little girl, there's a lot of hidden passages in this house, right? Which I don't really mind. I find that to be adventurous. That's an adventure when there's hidden passageways. I seen this one. I know it's a ramble, but whatever. I seen this one TikTok video where this person had this big ass Beauty and the Beast library, and then they had this hidden doorway in their library and opened it up, and inside the doorway was their bedroom. And I was just like, that is the most magical experience to live in every single day, and they are so fucking lucky to have a Beauty and the Beast library with a hidden passage doorway into their bedroom. Good for them, you lucky bastards. Lucky rich bastards. Magical. Anyways, so he crawls through the hole because the girl opens the hole because Roach left one of her little dolls that she sewed. So she's sewing these I think they're voodoo dolls. I don't care what you're talking about. They're voodoo dolls. They hold the spirits of the people that have come to the house that brother and sister have killed. That sounds like a voodoo doll to me, but like maybe she doesn't know it's voodoo, but I feel like it's a voodoo doll. So he crawls through, and then like he's in her room, and so she's telling him about the kids under the stairs and how they kidnapping kids to find the perfect brother and sister. Like, were you gonna make them like because y'all two are siblings and I know y'all fucking, if you found the perfect brother for her, were you gonna make them, what was the plan? I can't even say the full. What was the plan? There's no plan when it comes to psychos. Like, they just like to do stuff just cause. And if it feels good, it feels good. If it doesn't, well, we'll just keep doing it until it does. I don't know. So she's telling him the whole plot, and then she tells him who Roaches is because he comes out the wall and shit. And so he just hiding throughout the house for the rest of the day, right? And then he's trying to get her to leave. So he's trying to find a way out. So running around the house, this nigga in a gimp suit, all this other stuff. Fighting this nigga's chasing a little girl. And then they figure out, I'm gonna skip over a lot of it because a lot of it's just hijinks ensue. They figure out, like, they get to the attic, right? And whatchamacallit, what happened? Wait, no. Before they get to the attic, because it wasn't just hijinks ensue. So they get into the wall with Roach, right? And so brother and sister know that he's in the house, so they chase him around, but brother is too afraid to go into the walls because it scares him. I think that fear is the spirits of the people that you killed weighing on your soul, and you just think it's fear of, and that's why you avoid the walls and shit. That's what it is. I don't care. And so, like, they send a dog into the wall, and Fool is tired. He's just like, I'm not fighting anymore. I'm not running anymore, right? And so he decides to square off with this Rottweiler. I like Rottweilers. I think they're cute. They got these little brown eyebrows and brown little snouts and brown little feet and things. You just need to have a backyard to have them. They're not house dogs. And so maybe one day I'll have a husky, a Rottweiler, and a couple cats, and that would be magical. And maybe a bunny rabbit. Horrible. So anyway, they send a dog into the wall, and the dog is about to attack him, and he jumps on him, and so they wrestling. The dog is wrestling with the dog. I'm like, this is a strong little boy. Look at him wrestling with that dog. I mean, in reality, he's not wrestling with the dog. He's probably just playing with the dog. They edited to make it look like they were wrestling. And then brother is outside of the wall, like stabbing a knife through the wall, right? So he puts the dog up against the wall, and brother stabs the dog and thinks he stabs Fool, right? I felt bad for that dog. He was just an innocent bystander with these evil ass people, and and it's so appropriate because this white woman capes for this fucking dog the whole movie. In reality, she don't care about that dog because as soon as he dies at the end, she was talking about, and we need to get a new dog and make sure he's big. And I'm just like, you was crying over that dog when he died. You didn't care about that fucking dog. You just care about what that dog can do for you. Like, I really feel like dogs are like the new slaves until they build robots. Like, you can dress them up, you can do what you want with them, but they can't cook and clean for you. But you can control them because they're very controllable animals, unlike cats, which is why a lot of people don't like cats, because you have to earn their love. I find it very fulfilling when my cat decided that she loved me, because I had to work for that. The shit that you put in work for feels really fulfilling when it comes to a conclusion and shit. Like, I had to work for her love. Like, I had to, like, she chose me and shit. She chose to like me. Like, I didn't make her like me. I didn't feed her a bunch of treats and she chose to like me. Because you can literally get a cat and they could choose to never fucking like you. They could choose to hate the shit out of you, and every time you're in the house, they'll always be somewhere hidden off in the walls, in a closet somewhere, and only come out to eat. And they'll never let you pet them, never let you interact with them. They're not going to snuggle up next to you. They'll just eat and then go back into the closet and pray to God you don't come near them ever again. And so, no, you got to work for that shit. And I like that. That's what I like about cats. Like, they make you, it's like interacting with humans and shit. Like, that's why people don't like cats, because they don't want to work for somebody's love. They want them to just love them. And you don't have to do nothing but be yourself. And it's like, no, there's a sprinkle of that in love, but you also have to, like, be a decent person and show up and be consistent and, like, not hurt people and shit. Like, there's still a little bit of work you got to put into, attracting people's love and care and things like that. But anyways, so he kills the dog, and then mama was just like, I'm not gonna call her mama, sister was just like, check. And so he broke a hole through the wall, and the dog fell through, and she's screaming and crying and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, they escape. They get up to the attic. Fool notices that one of the little aqueducts on the roof goes down into this little lagoon lake situation that they got in their backyard. And so he was like, I think the lagoon lake is right underneath this little thing, and I think we could just slide down and get into it. And she just, I'm gonna give it to her because she ain't seen the outside world probably since infancy. I don't know when she was robbed from her parents. And she didn't know what was outside. She didn't even know what a neighborhood was. She didn't know she was in a neighborhood. She didn't even know the word neighborhood. And so she was scared. And then you add jumping off, 3-story roof, and she was scared. So I can't even hold it. I'm not gonna hold her. Like, she ain't had no life experience whatsoever, except for being in that house with them crazy people. So, she didn't want to jump. And so daddy got her, brother got her, and he jumped. And before he jumped, though, like earlier on, Roach had given him some gold coins from, the dude's, treasure stash or whatever. So he had them in his pocket. He took them home with some random old black man. I don't know if that's his grandfather, a neighbor, whatever, but he kept saying a lot of we's and us's when he was talking about them gold coins. Like, we're going to be rich, and, we're going to be rich to the year 2000, and this was made in 1991. So I'm just like, so we're going to buy a house with this, right? If we're going to be that rich to pay off rent till the year 2000, we might as well just buy a house with this. And so he's appraising the gold coins and telling him that they're worth a lot of money, and he going to be hella rich, and his mom's going to be able to get the surgery, happy ending. But, he has a conscience and he cares about people. He's a decent human being, and he didn't feel right leaving them kids in that house. So what he does is he calls the police, and and says that they're abusing a child in that house, right? The police show up with like 5 or 6 cars and shit. I was just like, because earlier y'all was just like whatever when they said that that y'all didn't need to search the house, and they looked through the house, and them niggas wasn't in their house, and they lived they felt like prisoners in their own neighborhood and shit. You was like going with it and shit, but now you get a phone call that they beating a kid. You got 5 or 6 squad cars there, and I'm just like, I mean, you should have 5 or 6 squad cars there just because. Like, I'm tired. But he knows that they're not going to get arrested because they've been running this scam for their whole family for decades. Like, they started with a funeral home where they was selling cheap coffins and shit like that. Then they started into real estate, selling these cheap ass apartments with roaches and rats and falling apart that they wasn't gonna fix or do nothing about. And they've been kidnapping children this whole time and shit, like, and people been calling the police and they ain't done nothing. So he knew they wasn't gonna do nothing, but he just needed a distraction to get back into the house. So he snuck back into the house, and he thought they didn't know. And so when the police left and everything got quiet, he snuck out of the cabinets to like go upstairs, and he got like his little fire poker, and I guess he was gonna hit him, kill him, I don't fucking know. They had went upstairs, right? So he thinks they're in bed, but he goes upstairs, and actually they had put a voice recorder on of them about to say their prayers going to bed, right? And then this nigga comes up behind him in a gimp outfit and tackles him, and he hits him in the head and he runs off and shit. And so he goes to find Alice, right? Run around the house, hijinks ensue, they looking for each other and shit like that. He finds Alice in the attic, right? And then like they go up to the top of the roof, right? And they were going to climb down the chimney to the living room, and then he had unlocked the door so that he pressed the button so the front door would be unlocked so Alice could go through the front door, and he was going to go down to the basement to free them kids in the basement, right? Because he has a good heart. That child has a good heart. He wants to help people. God bless him. His sister talking about he needs to become a doctor. I hope in his dimension, because I believe that every piece of media is another dimension, and them stories are still going on. I don't care what you're talking about. He became a doctor, and he's helping people. That's why she wanted him to be a doctor, because he has a good heart and he wants to help people. God bless that little baby. I'm talking about real people are in another dimension. They are, and dimensions are real. So leave me alone. So like they get down the chimney, they smash a brick on the brother's head, and then they jump on the sister's head, and then the girl goes down to the living room. And she looking around and shit instead of running towards the door like immediately. Like I guess she looking around to see if one of them siblings is down there. I don't know, but like this is a point where we just run towards the door and hope for the best. She ain't got no sense. It's fine. She been through stuff. She don't know nothing. It's whatever. She don't know nothing. She's been kidnapped and she don't know nothing. And so whatchamacallit, Fool gets down to the basement, right? and he releases the kids and they let him out, but then the dog is that no, not the dog, they let him out, but then one of the kids in the basement, because Roach dies, right? Like brother gets him with the buckshot and shit, and he bleeds out in the furnace. But before he bleeds out, he gives Fool the little gold doubloons and shit like that, right? So, the one of the other kids in the basement, and these kids look fucked up, nigga. Like they was just so abused, and their whole face was white. The eyes was all the pupils. I'm guessing the eyes were black because the pupils are all big and shit now because you've been in the dark for most of your life, so your pupils didn't grow the way they were supposed to grow and shit like that. Like they out here, just their skin is all textured. It was horrible. I'm sure they was using the bathroom in a corner somewhere for years. There's probably a tree growing in that corner now. Manure. Oh God, it was horrible. I hated looking at them. Like even as a kid, I hated it. Like I just wish God had made me different. Like because I just feel like you showing me shit. You made me in a way to where certain shit makes me nauseated, and then I seem like a bad person. When in reality, I can't help that my stomach felt like it was about to throw up because the amount of dirt that was on your skin made me nauseated. Now, am I going to present this to a person in real life and be like show my physical disgust? No, I'm not gonna do that. You're just a human being living your life. Things happen to you and stuff like that. But like, I can't help that I feel that in my stomach. So, like seeing them kids fucked me up as a kid. I was just like, why they look like that? Oh my gosh, they're so dirty. Like, what's going on? Bodily dirt just bothers me so fucking much. It just when you got them dirt rashes and it's caked on and it just makes me itch. It just, oh God, like even when, that's why I have to take showers twice a day too. I can feel when the dirt start to pile up on my body. I can feel it. Like the most I could go is I might skip a day, but after a day, no, I can smell myself. I can feel the dirt piling up on my body. Like it's disgusting. I'm not gonna. Ew. So seeing them kids, every time I see this movie, seeing them kids on them stairs fucks me up. I'm just be like, why they gotta be that dirty? Like, why was you doing that to them kids? Like, they probably so uncomfortable in their own bodies. They ain't had a bath. They ain't had no good meal. They just been eating dead people and shit. There was a dead kid in there and there was just a skeleton, chained to a post. I was just like, this is horrible. Like, I couldn't even imagine. Like, and so anyways, one of the kids takes him to the treasure room. And while he's in the treasure room upstairs, the sister comes down and catches the little girl. And the little girl is like scared and shit, but like at that point he had released them kids from the basement, so they all came upstairs and killed that bitch like they were supposed to, because she was crazy. Like, what I always say, crazy to me just means that your coping skill is hurting people and you enjoy it and you have no remorse and you're not gonna stop. And even if you do stop, it's just pretending. You're just doing that so you don't go to jail. Like deep down inside, you still want to kill people. You still want to eat motherfuckers and shit. That you're crazy. Like you get off on hurting people, you're crazy. Because at that point, there's no going back. There's no like, you like it, you enjoy it, it makes you happy. So that's a sociopath that makes you happy. I can't do nothing about it. So I don't know what to tell you. You're crazy. You have crossed over into the land of no remorse, nothing. And I don't know what to tell you. You enjoy doing this. You enjoy touching people inappropriately. You enjoy sexually assaulting people. You enjoy beating people. You enjoy emotionally abusing people. And you enjoy the reactions that you get out of them when you emotionally abuse them and stuff like that. Like you're crazy. Like you enjoy hurting people. So they killed her like they were supposed to, because obviously her mental health is a detriment to other people, not just herself. And it is what it is. No, because you know how many serial killers like cop a plea and they're still alive in jail. I said this in the last movie. They cop a plea and they're still in jail. So if the apocalypse come and them motherfuckers get out, oh, Mad Max is happening, y'all. Like these motherfuckers, and this is in their culture too. These white people is gonna Mad Max out and kill us all. Like That's what I'm scared about the apocalypse. Like zombies, like probably get away from zombies. They're not thinking, they're not thinking creatures. So like all they're caring about is eating, eating, eating. So you can cop a plan to get away. These folks out here can pretend to be regular just to get into your circle. And then kill everybody. Like, you don't know. They look like everybody else when you wash the Mad Max dirt off of them and shit. They look like everybody else and shit. So, no. No, like, they didn't even give these serial killers a death penalty. They didn't kill like 50 people. And you just out here like, well, we want to know where the other bodies are so that we can, like, the parents want to, have, and that is valid for them parents, but I'm not that type of parent. I'll just be like, the husk that's a husk now. Like, my child is gone. Like, kill this nigga. I want the death penalty and shit. My child is gone. Like, no, this is just a husk. Like, this ain't my child. I don't know what you you got this nigga is still like alive in the world and shit. Like, no, I'm good. Like, the BTK killer is still in jail, just sitting there. The happy face killer is just still in jail, sitting there, hoping for his next, like, interview and shit, so he can have his face all on the television again and shit. Like, and they're doing paintings and trying to like go viral and shit. Girl, you got me fucked up. I don't have it. Maybe that's why they didn't bring Mindhunter back, because it was giving these niggas that are still alive in prison too much attention. And that's valid though. You know what? That's fucking valid. Do we want to give these niggas that much attention? Like, do we want to do that? Like we glorify these motherfuckers and shit. Like, no. I pay attention to these things so I can notice trends and traits to avoid in people, from the smallest trend and trait to the largest. And that's why I'm interested in true crime. I'm taking notes and shit, nigga. Like, okay, so if a nigga is wishy-washy and inconsistent, he could be a serial killer. Get away from me, you inconsistent, wishy-washy nigga. I mean, it's far-fetched, but like, no, that's how far it could go. I don't need it, because just in case you want to, boil my head in a pot and eat it. Like, no. Get your inconsistent, wishy-washy ass. Like, or they're love bombing me. Like, I don't know you, but we're talking about getting married on the first date, and I just... Isn't that how they pretend in the beginning in some of these movies and shit? These true crime motherfuckers. You could be a serial killer, love. Like, get the fuck away from me. No, so I just, people like this, I don't, no, maybe that's why they ain't bring my mind hunters back, because it was good. Some of them niggas is still alive, and it was getting a lot of fucking attention. It was getting a lot of attention to them motherfucking niggas. And so, she got what she deserved. Sister got what she deserved. And so, like, then the little girl runs to the door because somebody's knocking. And actually, no, this happened earlier. When Fool came back to the house to find the little girl and the rest of the kids, the sister showed up, right? And sister opened the door, right? And was like, what you want? And she was just like, I think you're fucked up for what you do as landlords and making us live in slums. And she shut the door in her face, right? But then the old man shows up and he's banging on the door and shit, talking about police and shit. So she opened the door again. And then these motherfuckers done bought the whole neighborhood with them. And then that's when the little girl falls from the ceiling on top of this bitch and bangs her fucking head on the floor. Loved it. And then it was funny because the black folks outside were just like, look at her. Look at how she's, oh my God. Oh shit. Now that's black people. That was black. That was all black. I love that. That was magical. And then at some point, the kids from under the stairs come up and kill her ass like that. Like, she deserves it. It is what it is. She was out here keeping them kids trapped under these stairs, taking away lives and potentials of what they could be in the future and shit. Like, they could still be them things. They probably need some, like, rehabilitation and some therapy and some, they probably got learning disabilities because you done kept them down there and they behind and they learning and they can't speak and you cut one of them niggas' tongues out. So, Like, but they can still do things in the world and be great and stuff and whatever the fuck. But no, like, imagine what they could have been if these motherfuckers hadn't kidnapped them because they got issues and they sociopaths and they got problems. Anyway, so Fool is back upstairs with Brother, and like he's downstairs with Brother in the treasure room. So he got into the treasure room. This motherfucker has been hoarding like white people do, hoarding treasures and keeping it. And he was like, this is why the hood is so poor. And I was like, yes, gentrification, classism, like, we touching on things here. Yes. And I'm sure, just like Scrooge McDuck, a lot of these rich white people probably do have a room full of gold in a mansion somewhere. Some of it is in stocks and bonds and Switzerland accounts and all this other shit. But some of these niggas are old school, just like your grandmama is. Just like your grandmama puts all her important shit under the mattress, some of these old white motherfuckers that are rich do the same thing. And they probably what's that nigga from Silence of the Lambs? The original Silence of the Lamb movies with Jodie Fisher, the original nigga that played him. When the fires happened over here in LA and shit like that, this nigga's house burned down, right? He had an original copy of some Shakespearean play in his house, nigga. Some $1 million thing, and it just sitting in his fucking... And I was just like, I don't know how I would feel. Like, I'm not attached to my material things like that. Like, I feel like I could just get more. I just want my cat and to escape. But like, some shit that's worth $1 million burned down in my shit, I would feel something. Like, I would feel something in my spirit. Like, this is bothering me. Like, I don't even care about money like that, but it's the principle. Like, no, these niggas be old and they old school and they probably got some hoarding situations going on, and they be hoarding wealth in their homes, like physically in their homes. And so it was not shocking to me that he had all that fucking money in his basement, and it will not be shocking to me to find out that niggas that are rich do that in general. I mean, it makes sense, kinda, because if everything goes to shit and the bank shut down, all this electronic money is poof, be gone in the air, right? So like there was this show I was watching on Netflix when I was in Ireland, and like, it's called Years and Years and Years, right? And it's over the years of basically the world just kind of eating itself and destroying itself, and it's seen through the lens of this family, right? And so like, over the years, like, people in their family die, and there's these policies that are made that like limit their ability to be free in the world and all this other stuff. And like, it just really illustrated how like how greedy these motherfuckers are, how greedy they are, how they hoard, how they don't care about the rest of the world and these people and stuff like that. It's disgusting. So it was not a shock to see that. And so he basically got him because he has these two wires that he's holding together that are connected to dynamite that's in the basement. Dude has dynamite. It's some like Looney Tunes shit and stuff. Like, we got dynamite in the basement. Shit, like, it is what it is. And he blows that bitch up and kills that nigga and jumps out the way, and then all the money comes up out of the chimney and out of the house, and they orchestrated it very well that this old ass house that's probably 200 or 300 years old didn't just burn to a crisp when he blew up, because the dude had put dynamite all over the house. But the parts of the house where Fool and his sister and the little girl was, and the kids, and the money, they didn't catch fire. And so the money flew up out the chimney, out the window. People was in the street grabbing the money and things like that. And so, you know, that was the end of the movie. But yeah, no, I like this movie. It shows gentrification, classism, horror, white monstrous stereotypes. You've heard them stereotypes of white people kidnapping black people and people of color to steal their organs and shit like that. Like Wes Craven literally, like I looked it up on Wikipedia, he based this movie off of this case in some state, I don't remember, but if you look it up on Wikipedia, where two burglars broke into this family's home and found like two children like tied up in the basement and shit, that this family had tied their children up and was like keeping in the basement. And of course they're white. Yes, they were white. I don't care what you're talking about. And I was just like, see, there is always some truth to stereotypes, and there's always some truth to art. Somewhere somebody in the world is doing the exact same thing that you are watching right now on a movie screen. I truly believe there's somebody in the world with magic Harry Potter powers, somebody in the world that can fly like Superman. I don't care if you believe in spirituality, you believe in magic powers. I don't care what you're talking about. And so, yeah, that's what he based this movie. And then, you know, like, I didn't look deeper into, like, all the black people stuff, but I'm just like, okay, this nigga like black folks. Like, he was, like, there were stereotypes, but they weren't necessarily rude. It was just, like, you pushing it a little too far with the trap apartment, like, but I mean, they poor in the hood. I mean, they can look desperate, but damn, like, why they the only family in the trap apartment that still pays rent? Like, I don't understand. Okay, whatever, nigga. Like, so it was still, see how what I'm talking about, like, that's the subconscious racism that's still within white folks, because it's so ingrained that they'll still do it without realizing it, that they're doing it. They'll still they'll insert a stereotype or go a little too far with a stereotype or something like that they're not catching themselves and shit. And so, like, I see stuff, I see patterns. Pattern recognition is a bitch, because it leaves you isolated, because other people don't see it until some really big bad shit happens with the people that you are seeing this pattern in. And so, like, most of the time I don't even say nothing. I just wait. I just be waiting. I be like, and people just be going, why don't you want to hang out with that? I'm good. Why aren't you so excited that such and such celebrity is? I'm good. Like, you just sit back and wait, and some shit be happening later on that they didn't just take themselves down, they took everybody else around them down with them. And I refuse, because when R. Kelly went down, all them niggas that was fucking around in his life went down as well. You didn't want to see the patterns. You didn't want to, you thought that those nice moments, you know, you hyper focus on those nice moments where he probably like acted like a nice person for like a day or something, and you focus on that, and you focus on the music and shit like that. You didn't focus on the dungeon with the children, the basement city, the molestation dungeon. You wasn't focused on that, you know. And then you got dragged. Just look at Epstein. Giselle went down with that motherfucker. See, you don't see patterns, and eventually the patterns get bigger and bigger, and when that motherfucker falls, he's dragging everybody that's close to that black hole down with him, and you just sat up there and you got dragged down into that motherfucker, and you just like, but I was just his friend, like, I wasn't even over here like that, I wasn't even, no nigga, you was standing there just like when you get caught up in hood shit, and you got friends that be in hood shit, and then you just thought you was hanging out at the park with your friends, and all of a sudden it's a police raid and you caught up in it, and because you black too, like, they think you a part of it, and now you in jail with them for 20 years. 20 years of your life gone just because you thought you was gonna hang out with your motherfucking friends, bitch. Nah, nigga, I'm not hanging out with criminals. I don't care what you're talking about, because I'm not holding shit. Don't tell me shit. And no, I'm not hanging out with you like that. You're not about to get me caught up in some bullshit. You know how many black women in particular have went to jail for 20, 30, 40, 50 life because some nigga was hiding drugs in her house, her apartment, whatever the fuck. And either she knew and was just like, we ain't gonna get caught, it's not a big deal, or she did it. The worst ones are the ones that don't know that these niggas is hiding shit in your house. The cops ain't gonna believe that you didn't know, bitch. You're an accessory. No, are the ones that got caught up because they thought they was just driving their nigga to the grocery store and shit, and they was gonna wait in the car for him, and the grocery store was in the same parking lot as the bank, and you wasn't thinking nothing about it. Like, he going in the grocery store, he going to the liquor store to get some Swishers and shit. Like, whatever, it's not that big. Then all of a sudden, this nigga's running towards your car, jumping in your car, screaming, go, go, go. And then you're just like, what's going on? I thought we was just going to smoke it. Like, what's going on? See. And now you are in jail because you look like you were the accomplished driver and you were an accessory to robbery. And this nigga happened to shoot a security guard and the security guard's dead. So now you're an accessory to murder and they get the same sentence as the actual murderer. Honey, you're not about to. No, I watch too many true crimes. Like, I'm not about to be caught up in no fucking bullshit. I'm not. Like, literally, like, I can see why, like, Fool ended up in this situation because there was no way out. Like, your sister's a prostitute, like, she doing the best she can with what she got and the lot she has in life. She got 3 or 4 kids she gotta feed. Your mama over here in bed dying from cancer. You 13, you gonna make the best decision you think you can make, even if your sister's telling you not to do it. But still, I was a scaredy cat even as a 13-year-old. I probably just been poor. I would have been, I guess we're homeless. I am a scaredy fucking cat. Don't expect me to be the warrior bitch in a dangerous situation. Like, I'll cuss a nigga out if they be talking shit, but like, I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna be in no dangerous situation and be like, oh my god, no, like, I'm gonna look at the nigga and be like, so are you gonna protect us? Are you gonna protect us? Are you gonna protect us? No, my warrior bitch only turns on when somebody I care about is in danger. If I don't care about you, I'm scared. I'm in a room with niggas I don't care about. I don't know if they care about me enough to protect me. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm just this little lady. I am just a little lady, and I don't know what to do. I'm scared. And that's the type of bitch I am. And motherfuckers don't think that black women can be the damsel and the lady and the little lady and all this other stuff. And so, there's been many times I've been looked at like I was a coward and a bitch. And I'm just like, no, I'm a lady. Like, I need protection. Like, fuck you expect me to react to this? I don't fight. I am a dainty lady. Dainty. I am a dainty lady. I might talk a good game, but bitch, I am dainty. Shit. You got me fucked up. I'm not going to be involved in situations like this. I'm not going to be involved with no spiritual shit. Like I said, I went to a plantation one time when I went to New Orleans, and the evilness of the energy in that motherfucking place, I was scared. I didn't see a ghost, but I felt them. I felt them around me. I felt bombarded. I felt claustrophobic. I'm never going back to one of them things. I don't understand how people have weddings there. That you're a real sociopath and you don't even know it. Oh, you do know it and you don't give a fuck. If you had a plantation wedding, you are a sociopath. I don't care what you're talking about. That's like having a wedding at Auschwitz. Why would you have a wedding where so much blood was spilled? Why is that how you would want to start off your marriage, to be married in a place where so much blood was spilled? Oh gosh, you just damning your marriage from jump. Like, like I don't have it for you. Oh God, just remembering it, just, oh God, God bless my ancestors and the people that was at that slavery farm and shit. And God bless them, because no human being deserves that degradation and abuse and whatever the fuck these white people were doing. See, I can't do it. I can't. Y'all just out here not pattern recognizing, and you putting yourselves in dangerous situations, and you ended up like bad things are happening to y'all, and then you look up and you wonder why, and then you wash, rinse, repeat, and put yourself in another bad situation. And I'm just like, wake the fuck. I woke up, I stopped putting myself in bad situations with niggas and white people. Like, I woke the fuck up and realized that if they show you that they don't give a fuck, they don't give a fuck. And no matter how much that little delusional voice inside of me wants to believe that I could make them give a fuck, like, they're not gonna give a fuck. And so, just like, they had to do Anxiety and Inside Out 2, I have to do that to that little delusional voice inside of my head that's like, oh no, he likes you, girl, you just have to like show him. No, I don't. You sit down in this chair here, in this lounger here, and you take this chamomile tea and here's some lavender candles, and you shut the fuck up, bitch, before you make us look crazy in public. To tell that bitch that shit every fucking day. Shut up, bitch. Shut up, bitch, because I be having crushes on unavailable niggas. And it's toxic. That's why I'm just gonna wait for Jesus to send me my husband, because no, I don't choose properly. I don't pick them right. I don't. Like, the toxic in me picks them instead of like the little dash of toxic and like logic. And like a little bit of emotion. It needs to be a balance in picking these niggas, and the balance isn't there. It's all toxic. It's like, oh, he's a bad boy. Like, look at him. He's aggressive. Oh, I don't mind aggressive. Hey, aggressive. Find out this nigga likes to hit bitches in the face. I'm just like, oh, wait, I don't want you to be that aggressive. I just, there's just some things I want to try in the bedroom that don't hurt, but like it doesn't hurt as much. And there's safe words and things. Like, why are we hitting bitches in the face? How did it escalate? So God's gonna send me that. Like, obviously it's a miracle. And I don't pick right. So no, you gotta know. You gotta know what you want, and you gotta stand firm in what you want, because like, if you let that delusional bitch rule, then what's gonna happen is she gonna run you right into jail. Or crashing out and slashing a nigga's tires and shit, and now you got to pay for their tires because they had cameras on the front of their house that caught you slashing their shit. Or embarrassing yourself in public because you're crying and you're screaming, why don't you love? And they're just looking at you like, what's going on? And everyone else is looking at you like, what the fuck is wrong with her? And now you can't go back to that Chick-fil-A and shit, so youth, the ignorance of youth has taught me that I just need to stand firm in what I want, and if you don't match what I want, like, that's how I learned I don't like tall niggas, that I don't like short niggas. Like that's one of the things that I want, is a nigga that is my height, which is 5'9". That is not asking too much, or taller, because like, I learned that about myself. See, when you focus on yourself, you learn so much about yourself, because I go to the chiropractor one, right? And this is not to insult nobody. This is just facts, physics, and, circumferences and geometries and things, like, I can't help it. I can't help it that that's the way it is. It is just what it is. So I go to this chiropractor once a month, right? And it's good. I love it. It's magical to, get your shit popped and your shit rubbed into, and all of that keeps me nice. There are two chiropractic doctors there. One is this little short dude that's muscular. He's like 5'5", right? 5'6", maybe 5'7". I'm gonna give him something, because 5'5" seems like, it might be insulting or something. So, one of them. And then there's this other doctor that I usually go to that's 6'5'4" something. It's a big nigga, right? And so, like, the big nigga always ends up cracking something, popping something. I can at least feel this nigga on my body when he's doing his job, right? I've had this little doctor twice. And I just pretend. Because he tries his hardest. And he has muscles, too. So I don't even understand why I can't feel it, his body on my body. Like, when he tries to pop, crack something, I don't feel it. I just be laying there like, oh God, I'm paying for this. I think this is like $40 for this. But he's trying his best, and I be cheering him on in my head. I be like trying to make it positive. I be like, like, good, you're trying. You are, but I literally cannot feel you on my body. That made me realize I can't be with a short nigga. Like, I can't feel you on me. Like, I want to be crushed, nigga. Like, I want to feel you on me, and I can't feel you on me. Like, I can't. Because I've even had tall, skinny niggas, and I can feel them niggas on me. Like, you just trying your damnedest to crack things in my body, and nothing's cracking. It's not doing it. And, I think it's physics. Math and shit like that, like factual, logical things. He can't help it. He can't. And I can't help that I don't feel this nigga when he tries to crack he be whoo, and I just be like, what time is it? Like, is this almost and that's how I learned that, like, it really cemented in my mind that I can't be with a short nigga. Like, you just don't have the body mass. Not even physically. Like maybe I would have gave him a chance, like gave short niggas a chance, like before that experience. But after that experience, I was just like, this nigga was laying his whole body on me trying to crack my shit, and I just didn't feel anything. And I was just like, oh God, oh please get off. Please get off. Lord Jesus, get off of me. Felt like I had a backpack. It felt like I had a backpack on. I was just like, oh Lord, I bet I could pick this motherfucker up. I hate it. I'm not trying to be mean. That's just how it felt. And so it was math, circumference, and things like that. It's what it was. That's what it was. So things in life will show you what you want and what you don't want, and then you just stand firm in them things. It's gonna take a while for the niggas to come. It is what girl. It's gonna take a while for the niggas to come when you want what you want. You have refined your puzzle piece to a sharp end point that nothing else will fit this puzzle piece but your other puzzle piece, your other half. And so it is what it is. Like, you gonna have some sad moments, but it's better than having sad moments with a nigga around that's making you feel bad about being sad. Because then that extends the sadness, and you just feel like you're being tortured at that point. Versus, like, I have a sad moment. It lasts for like maybe a few hours, an hour, and then it's over. And then I move the fuck on. Like, I do some coping skills, watch a show, maybe something funny, maybe something sad to cry it out or some shit, and then move the fuck on. Like, no, like, it's worse when a nigga that's abusive is around, because they stand over you and they just look at you with disgust, and their body language screams disgust, and then they're talking words of disgust, and you just feel like, oh, the things that I think about myself must be true, because look, there's a concrete example. And it's like, no, I'm good. I am okay. And so I know the type of people I want in my life. I know the type of partner I want in my life. And it's not a lot. It's not too much. What you want is not too much. Like, it isn't. Like, if it's something that you want and the person can't provide that, then you're trying to make them do it. then it's too much because they're not going to be able to do that. Like, Ava on Abbott Elementary, like, you're not going to turn this nigga into a millionaire overnight. Like, it's not going to happen. So you either going to take his little funky ass $90,000 a year from being the IT person for the school district, or you're going to just let him the fuck go. Like it shouldn't be that hard, girl. If you want to manifest a millionaire that also is gentle and kind and loving and all this other shit that you want, then you manifest a millionaire. That's, girl, you run around in them circles. You just dating a basketball player or some shit. You could if you wanted to, but this is the nigga that you're choosing to be around. So if you're choosing to be around this nigga, then you need to be okay with the fact that he makes decent money. He makes enough money that your money and his money combined can buy a house. And if that's not enough for you, then you need to leave that motherfucker alone. So that's when it's a problem. So no, you got to know what you want, because when you know what you want, the things that you don't want become glaring, and these patterns of behavior that are not okay become glaring in everybody that shows them to you. And it'll start to be very hard to miss the things that these people are showing to you, and it'll be very easy to set boundaries and be like, oh, does that mean that you have to cut everybody off and you can't have certain people in your life? No, because like people have to have bosses, and the people that they see at the grocery store once a week and shit like that. Like, no, it just means that you're not about to be in the inner circle in my personal life. Like, I'm not about to give up personal information about myself to you about like shit. Girl, you giving vibes that you got some shit going on that I don't want to have going on in my life. So no. And then you just avoid a lot of bullshit, and then you start to grow your own shit until it's like magnificent, and then like you have this like magnificent life that starts to attract other magnificent people that are chill and don't make a big deal out of things and can set boundaries and can respect your boundaries and care about other people in the world and shit like that. So yeah, I don't know how I ended up on that long ass fucking tangent, but just love yourself and pay attention to patterns of behavior. Don't be running it like in the beginning when they did the tarot reading and the little dog was like, fool, don't do that. Fool, don't do that. Was trying to tell him ahead of time, don't do dangerous shit. And fool was like, well, what am I supposed to do to get off the cliff? Fly? And it was like, well, I mean, see, you putting people in positions where they ain't got no other options but to do criminal shit. And so I can't even judge the decisions that this nigga made. But like, nah, nigga. And then Ving Rhames was like aggressive, but he was also physically abusive to that girl. So I had to clock that. That's a little bit too toxica. That I don't want it to be that toxica, But like, if this was in a situation with a safe word, because the safe word means you're in control, and so I can make this person stop at any time I wanted to, and so he was so strong. Horrible, just a horrible hoe. Horrible. But know what you like, know what you want, notice patterns of behavior, and don't let like toxic people in your life that want to destroy, kill, steal, and destroy everything. Just notice it. What helps is if you notice how they treat themselves and other people first, because that's where the pattern's gonna lie. When you're first meeting somebody, they're going to put on their interview face and they're going to act like they're the best person in the world and shit like that. So like, you got to look at how they treat other people, how they treat themselves. Like, do they cuss the waiter out at dinner and be like, oh shit, like I'm going to have to escape plan this motherfucker. Like he's a loose screw in there or some shit. Like, she's doing her best that she can do, like that, like like she acts, there's cheese on your cheeseburger and shit, nigga. Like, okay, well, we can get that returned and they can take the cheese off, or like things can be done without you calling her a fucking bitch. Like, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get the hell up out of here because he's bigger than me. So the the TikTok thing of, oh, you just get up in the middle of a date and walk out. No, he's bigger than me. So we're gonna have to finesse this. Okay. The bathroom's over there and that's close to the door and he can't see I could go to the bathroom and get the fuck up out of here and shit and just dip and block him on every fucking thing and leave him there by himself. And I did it right after he cussed the waitress out. So if he asked himself, why did she ghost me? And he tells the stories to his friends, like, this bitch ghosted me. And if even one of them friends just happened to ask, well, what happened? Well, this fucking waitress came over. And then I hope one of his friends be like, and so you called the waitress a fucking bitch in front of your date? And I hope maybe then it'll resonate for him, that, yeah, that's why she ghosted you. Yeah, that's my review of The People Under the Stairs. I am excited to see what Jordan Peele, that's what that nigga's name is. I'm excited to see what Jordan Peele does with it. I'm excited for the movie Him because Marlon Wayans is back in his Requiem for a Dream bag. And I am so excited about it because, like, I think he's a dramatic actor. I think he brings the drama and shit. Like, I don't think he's an action hero actor. That's why he was great in Requiem for a Dream. But then when they tried to put him in that other movie, I won't put the thing up. I don't know. Niggas was talking shit. Like, I don't think he's an action hero. Like, I think he's a horror drama, like emote type actor. And there's not a lot of emoting in action movies and shit. So he's either comedy or he's drama or horror. I don't think he's an action movie type actor, and so that's why it didn't work out. Like, it didn't. That was not playing to his strengths. And so when he was in Requiem for a Dream, that nigga popped. That nigga snapped. And so when I saw the trailer for Him, I was like, oh, this nigga is pulling, he's snapping. And so I'm excited to see him. And also excited to see what he does with The People Under the Stairs, because I can't be mad that he's remaking it, because he does so many original movies that, like, it's okay that he remakes People Under the Stairs. It's okay. See how we include the gentrification and the classism and the racism while pulling back a little bit on the stereotypes and stuff, because that wasn't the trap house apartment building and you the only tenants living there that have to pay. Girl, at this point, this is an abandoned building that your family just happens to live in, and y'all could just, like, why even pay rent? Like, but I guess you wouldn't have electricity or water. They would turn that shit off. But, like, you would have shelter. Girl, shut up. They would take a bath, but shut up. They mom had cancer. They need running water. It's funny. I don't care. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know your thoughts, and later days.